Hello, my name is Robert Larson. I'm an attorney and the owner of the Larson Law Office in Mesa, Arizona. Today I'm going to talk about spousal maintenance in Arizona. And the reason I'm talking about that topic is somebody asked me online if I would talk about it, and so I'm happy to do so. And this topic is large enough, I'm probably going to have to break it up into a few different videos. So today I'm going to focus on what spousal maintenance is and kind of give a little bit of history of it in Arizona. So in Arizona, spousal maintenance is the same thing that other states might refer to as alimony or spousal support. It's basically, as part of a divorce, the court has to determine if one spouse is going to pay money to their ex-spouse after their divorce is finished. And so usually that's going to be a monthly payment for a specified period of time. And the classic example of this would be a situation where you've had a couple that's been together for several years, and one spouse has been working full-time and advancing in their career during that marriage, and the other spouse has been home raising children or doing whatever it is they're doing, and they're not really in the workforce at all, or maybe a little bit here or there. And so it's not always this way, but kind of a classic example would be the husband has been working for 20 years and advancing in his career, and now he's earning a substantial salary, and the wife is just starting out brand new in the workforce after 20 years of marriage. So that would be a perfect example of where spousal maintenance would be appropriate. There's other examples, but that's just kind of the classic scenario. And so in that situation, the court would figure out what would be an appropriate amount for her to receive each month and for how long. Now, in the past, the courts had a list of factors they had to consider, and they still do, but there's about a dozen factors that a judge would have to look at if you had a trial and spousal maintenance were an issue. And you'd present that evidence about those factors, and the judge would have to make a decision, and hasn't really been any calculation or formula that the judge would use. It's pretty much just been discretionary throughout most of history. And so you could present the same evidence to 20 different judges, and you might get 20 different results. And most of them might be kind of similar, but the difference between the most favorable and the least favorable to you could be quite a difference. You could even have one judge say, no, you don't get any spousal maintenance at all, whereas the most favorable to you could be a judge giving you quite a bit for a long time. So it was really unpredictable, which created incentive for people to settle, but it was also an area with a lot of litigation, because nobody likes paying spousal maintenance, and a lot of times people felt like they had to have some, and so they weren't going to settle without getting a decent amount. So there was a lot of unpredictability with it. A few years back, the state legislature decided to deal with that unpredictability, and they made a law that told the court system that you need to create a formula. So we've always had a child support formula where you can plug in the numbers to the formula and figure out what child support is. And we never had one for spouse maintenance. And so the state basically said to the court system, you're gonna have to do this. And so they did. And so for about 2 years now, we've had a formula, and I'm gonna spend a little more time talking about that on a different video because I think that would take too much time. But basically we now have a formula, and it's still in the early stages. We're still kind of learning how it works and what the results are. The factors that the judge has to consider still exist, but now there's a formula that we can use. And so that's basically an overview of spousal maintenance. Like I said, I will talk about the formula more and some other factors as well in some other videos. But that's kind of a general idea of what spousal maintenance is in Arizona. And if you'd like to get more videos, make sure you subscribe and like the videos. And if you have any questions, you can always give me a call.